Okay, basically in pleasure riding, there really shouldn't be a reason why your horse should be real sweaty, like foaming, and really breathing heavy at the mouth. I mean, it's pleasure riding. Do a little walk, a little trot, a little canter, and you have a good ride, and your horse has a relaxing ride. So I always try to use coming back to the barn as part of my cool down. So I will, like if I've done a lot of cantering or something like that, and they are breathing a little bit heavy, coming back towards the barn, I will start going back into a trot and then a walk and maybe a little trot and a walk. And then you'll be surprised how it brings that respiration down, brings that heart rate down. And you can see she's not even hardly breathing. I mean, she didn't work real hard, but just a little bit of just the flaring of the nostrils there, but nothing that is any concern of her being overheated or overworked. All right? And she can go for a long period of time. Now what I want to show you is what I do when I get out of the saddle and I start to untap. So we're going to go back into the barn and I'm going to show you what I do with her. Good morning. We've got another segment here. My friend Roy doing the filming, and my name is Gene, and I'm with PH Balance. That's my company. And this video is just like the last one, just to show you a couple of things of how I handle horses and my training technique, so to speak. And I hope you enjoyed the last one, which was from the trail, or from the barn to the trail, and just showed you basically, how I take my time with my horse to, brush it down, tack it up, and all that good stuff. This is going to be a little bit more on the trotting, and how I got Missy to kind of get that nice trot. I mean, she's had it, but to really work her with it, and to get her to bring the head down, slow herself down. But also it's important for me to how I sit that saddle and how I go with her movement. So Lloyd's going to be taking some shots of me coming up the trail, coming towards the camera and coming away from the camera. And what I want you to kind of pay attention to is how Missy will move and how I will move with her. So like when you see her shoulder moving out like this, or her left front leg moving out like this, you're going to see mine move with her, and my body just kind of like like a marching almost, only it's going to be a lot more relaxed, and it's not going to be like real stiff or anything like that. And you can see how she moves coming towards you, see how her chest muscles are moving, and hopefully you'll be able to see how those front legs are moving. And then when we're coming away, then you can look at her buttocks and see how she's moving too, and see how smooth it is and how nice it is. Because when you're in union with your horse and you're in motion with your horse, it makes it easier for your horse to keep and maintain that gait. And also, you're not throwing them off balance. You're in tune with them. And you can feel them in that saddle. If you really concentrate, you can feel them in that saddle. And they can feel you with the saddle also. So it's really a nice unified action, unified motion to keep things going. So I'm going to go ahead and get her tacked up and ready to go. But I'm also, at the end of the ride, I'm going to show you what I do when I untack. Now in the last DVD, I showed you what I did while untacking the horse. So we don't need to go over that again. And but I'm going to show you what I do after I get done with riding her, what I do untacking her. Now this part of the untacking is just going to be like when it's cooler, like the winter months. Like right now, it's probably about 75 degrees. It's beautiful. But in the summer months when it gets really hot, then I have another kind of technique that I use on getting my horse comfortable. But for right now, we'll just make like it's kind of winter type, where she's not going to be really that sweaty, and then I'll show you what I do with her on that. So I'll see you in a few minutes. That's it. All right, so. And the clients, when I asked them about the DVD, they really liked the beginning and the end, where you set the music in. They said that was really pretty good. They really enjoyed it.
We know the ending was the best.
Well, you had to be, yeah, the ending was the best. Yeah,
the
that
best.
was great. And but they thought it was really neat, the introduction that she had with it, you know, and they really liked that a lot. I don't know if any of them watched it 3 times like Gabe did, but then Gabe told me why he watched it, so
Yeah.
3 times, so that was pretty neat too. And I gotta trim your feet this week, sweetie. She stands so nice anymore. Yeah, we gotta trim you up. You gotta break it up there. Thank you. Passing gas, that's good. You may know it. It's a good sign. Good sign. And I know you gotta be tired. We did 2.5 hours Monday, and then I rode her probably at least a good hour and a half, but I'm gonna give her credit for 2 because she stood fighting around with that damn saddle. Look at that. See that? Just pick that leg right up for you. Because she knows the routine. She knows what my next move's going to be. And she just does it. Huh, sweetie? You just do it. What that's going to do when you get to work on your pain. I'm not going to blow it all over the place anyway. She's been doing a lot better too with, you know, working in windy conditions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even it's like, well, they're always out there in it, so it shouldn't be a surprise to them. But when you get up on their back, it changes their thought process.
It was kind of unnatural too.
Yeah. But when you get up on them, it changes the thought. Okay, you ready, sweetheart? I'm going to go ahead and amp you up. Yay, babe, I can use my saddle. know, just the cinching alone just seems like, man, 'cause you're putting so much pressure on the rib cage.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, she's still got her head down low. I didn't get a sigh out of her this morning yet, though. Like that. Itches there. What?
That's a good boy.
Now, I don't think in the last video, I don't think I mentioned the hackamore, did I?
Got me.
I don't think I did.
I think it has to do with bowling, so I don't remember.
Huh?
I said it doesn't have anything to do with bowling, so I don't remember. Did you want to do something here about it, or?
Yeah, I'm going to say something when I get up on her.
Okay. Hackamore. What's a hackamore?
It's a bridle, it's a bitless bridle.
Yeah, you used it last time.
Yeah, I know I use it, but I don't know
I
if
think you went into detail about it.
I don't
though.
think I did. But it don't hurt to bring it up again.
Oh.
All right, sweetie. Ready? Let's go to work. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
good enough? Okay. All right, now I'm back in the saddle here, and I got Missy again. And just like in anything else, when you get ready for a ride, you want to do some stretching for yourself a little bit, and you want to kind of do a little bit of soft walk and maybe a little light trot to kind of get your horse's muscles warmed up and get the bones lubricated and all that good stuff. It's kind of windy today, and it just seems like every time we try to do a shoot we got wind, but we're in such an open area, you know, the wind is part of it, and this is what the horse has to really adjust to when you're getting ready to do the trail riding. They live in it, but when you're on their back, it gives them a different sense of the wind. They're more aware, more acute of what's going on. As you saw, we were just walking up, coming up towards the camera, and if you notice that a couple of times I kind of reached over here and just rubbed Missy on the neck. That's to let her know that she's doing the right thing for me, and that is just to walk right now, because I just want to loosen her up and get those muscles warmed up for her. And you can see right now she's standing really good. She's gotten really good at standing for me. You see the head starting to drop down a little bit, and a couple of minutes, maybe not even that, after I'd stopped her, she took a nice side. So she's telling me a lot of things, that she's starting to get more and more relaxed with what we're doing and more comfortable, and she has a better understanding of what I'm asking her. And I'm not going to ask her anything that is going to make her uncomfortable unless I've worked with her on it first. So that's why it's taken a little bit of time to get this next video going for the trot, as we had a couple of things that we just couldn't get it down right. So a lot of preparation goes into this. It's not just all of a sudden me coming up in front of the camera and doing this stuff. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. She's getting very receptive. I don't lunge her prior to riding her, because her adrenaline kick is up there so high that if I get her into lunging, when I get up in the saddle, she's all hyper and ready to go. And that's going to be our next segment, will be cantering. But I got to get her to where she doesn't have that adrenaline kick in so fast and so long. So I have to work with her on that, and that'll probably be another couple of months before we have another video with her. But anyway, this video, again, like I mentioned earlier before, is going to be from the trail to the barn. And I just want to kind of cover over a little bit of the trot. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to show you front, and I'm going to show you back. And I want you to really kind of look at where her head is, what my body is doing, and basically I'm going to do what we call pedaling. And what that is that when this left shoulder moves forward, my left foot's going to move forward. And you can do that with your arm. You can go like this, or you can go like that. And what I do with that is exaggerate it, so that she can really feel that I'm trying to get in tune with her body and really go in fluid motion with her body. And it gives them a lot more confidence, because they feel like you're not bouncing around all over their back, and also it helps maintain their balance too. So I'm going to do some pedaling. Sometimes you might see me with my feet going forward, or I might even use my arms going forward. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to where I started, and then I'm going to come back towards the camera into a trot, and then you can see what I'm talking about. Louder?
No.
And also, I don't know if I mentioned this in the last DVD, but when I train, I like using a hackamore. And the reason being is I know I'm going to have to put pressure on it. I mean, I do a lot of preparation on the ground to teach the horse how to bend, how to bring its neck around, lateral flexion, and all that good stuff. But I don't like using the bit. I like using the hackamore, because I don't like being on their mouth. And it's not that they don't feel pressure, or they won't feel pressure when I train them, but it won't be on the mouth. And it's not that she can't take a bit, she will take a bit. But I prefer hackamore anytime, because I can still get the same result as I would with the bit. And I'm just more comfortable with the hack, that's all. So that's my preference. But if you're a new rider, beginning rider, getting into horses and stuff, I bet would probably be your best bet. If you see any of these guys that do training videos, they'll always pretty much have a bit in their mouth. I'm just different. That's just the way I like it. I want my horse to be as comfortable as possible. Okay, so I'm going to head on back, and then we're going to go into a trot. We'll probably do it a couple times, and coming at you, and then coming away from you. All right. Okay, so that went pretty good. A little bit of a rough start, and I'm not going to do a lot of editing to show you that I make mistakes or that she makes mistakes. I'm not going to edit that, because you need to know that we're not perfect, and you're going to see some inequities, and that's okay, because that's all part of horsemanship. There's going to be some days that everything goes right, and there's going to be some days that everything goes wrong. So that's all part of it. So you notice that we kind of got a little bit of a late start, getting into a trot. She didn't move right into it, but we're still in the training mode. So I never get upset with my horse, and I never will get upset even if I'm not in the training mode, because I want them to be relaxed and comfortable. And if I start yelling at them and getting upset with them, then they're going to start to fall apart, and then I might as well quit training, because it's not going to be effective. So I hope you got to see how I moved. We got out of sync there for a little bit, but when her left shoulder was out, my left foot was out. When it came in right was like, my right foot was like that. So just going back and forth, that's pedaling. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do it with my arms, and I'm going to keep my legs quiet, okay? So I'm going to head on back down. You want to just...
Yeah.
Like that? Okay, now if you notice, that pace was a little bit quicker. Okay, and the reason being was now I'm using my upper body, okay, as to my lower body, and that for some reason is like a cue for her to kind of go a little bit quicker. So she has 2 or 3 different tempos of her trot, which makes it really nice because you can stay in a trot all day long but not keep the same amount of pressure on those muscles. Okay, and notice that when I stop her, I use 1 rein, and since she is more amiable to turning towards her right, that's the rein that I will use, and I use just a very little bit of pressure. So I'm going to put her in a 360 right now just to kind of show you. Okay, and then I'm going to move her up, and then, oh. Okay, so just I put my weight in the seat, put my feet forward, put a little pressure on that right rein. That's how I stop her. And she's really gotten very soft and really comfortable with that. And I can do it with the left side too, and she's not quite as comfortable with it for some reason. See, the slack in the rein here, and the pressure on this rein. Hook. That's all you need is 1 rein. Bring that head to a quarter lateral flexion. That's how you stop your horse. The misconception is you pull back on the horse's mouth with the bit with both reins. Well, the horse is still looking straight ahead, and as long as they can still look straight ahead, their thought is to get going. But if you bring that head around, lateral flexion, just like this, now they're thinking about, okay, now I'm just going around in a circle. So when you want to stop your horse, 1 rein. That's all you need, just 1 rein. Okay, so now I'm going to have Lori go ahead and videotape me moving away. Okay, so I want you to watch her rump, see how nice that moves, and watch me in the saddle. Now I'm not going to exaggerate, I'm just going to sit the saddle and get comfortable. Okay, so I'm not going to do a lot of movement in the saddle. She actually has a better gait going back because she thinks it's time to go back to the barn. But I hope you'll like what you see when I start off with her, okay? So I'm going to come up behind you, Lori, and then I'm going to come up past you. right, that didn't go too bad. Like I said, I'm not going to edit out any of the iniquities here. You can see some parts she was moving nice and smooth, another part she wasn't as smooth. And all that is just that we really don't have a whole lot of time in the saddle. Probably got about maybe up to this point for this month, maybe about 30 hours. We'd really like to get more than that on her in a month, and we're slowly but surely gradually building up on that. But once she does kind of get comfortable with it, you saw that there was just me just turning my body and asking her to do what we call the serpentine. And that's a good exercise when you're out on the trail and your horse is starting to look for boogers. And they're looking around here and they're looking around over there, and they're just looking for having, somebody come out and eat them up. That's right brain, so that's instinct. So when I start feeling Missy starting to do that, looking for boogers, I'll put her in a serpentine. And that puts her into her left brain. Now she's cueing in on what I'm asking her to do, and if she's doing that, she can't be looking out for boogers. Okay? So this is pretty much about it on the trot. She does have a couple other gaits of the trot, and you saw 2 of them. She's got one more that's a little bit quicker, but I'm not going to show that today. I just wanted to show these main 2, and you see as we're talking and standing here, she's bringing that head lower and lower. So she's starting to relax. So Lori's going to take a shot of me going back to the barn, and then I'll meet you at the barn because I'm going to show you how I untack my horse.